The game starts as 6 years prior to the current present time of the game, where we are Kuruto Ryuki, a new agent at the Advanced Brain Investigation Squad, or Abyss for short, a kind of special forces detective squad within the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, or TPMD. Ryuki, for some reason, finds himself unaware that he is at a game show in Studio Devaita, next to previous Somnium Files game character Shizue Kuranushi.
You okay, Ryuki?
Which everyone calls boss, but I like to call mommy. This scene is more so a tutorial for basic parts of the game, which is just looking around the room and interacting with items of interest to see if there's any important information. I'm not trying to look, that's what the camera is doing, okay? Shit. However, this tutorial scene is split right down the middle. See what I did there? The last question that the host, which I thought was just going to be the model for any non-important NPC, starts to split in half, along with everyone else in Studio Devaita. What is going on? Ryuki is understandably in shock. And then we cut to 6 years later, where we are now an 18-year-old Mizuki Date, another character from the previous game, who's in a stadium because of an anonymous text she got. As soon as we enter the stadium, though, someone just starts blasting at us.
You guys all think I'm a hero.
With Aiba's help, Mizuki's AI that sits within her eyeball socket, and some nice moves, were able to make the assailant retreat.
What's with this girl?
By the way, this assailant is female. I'm not sure if that information is really important yet, but I thought I should throw it out there. After our altercation, Aiba and Mizuki noticed something in the middle of a stadium. A body cut in half. To Mizuki's horror, she recognizes the person of this half body.
His name is Jin Furue.
Apparently, Mizuki was at the game show 6 years ago. I'm so glad I don't use an eye tracker. At Studio Devaita alongside Ryuki, Boss, some 2 Yakuza members, and her employee Iris. Yeah, Mizuki at the age of 12 apparently was like the JYP of Japanese high school idols. Also, apparently the host is Minecraft Steve? What's with his head? The lights suddenly go off and turn back on, with half a person's body showing up, along with a sign printed with a QR code and a phrase that says "Free to Free" on it. Switching back to 18-year-old Mizuki, we investigate the situation more. We find out that the person getting the DNA sample from Jin's second half,
My name is Kagami.
was also the same person on the case 6 years ago. Upon further investigation, Aiba, also, did I mention that she's also another character from the previous game? Did I also mention that I didn't play the previous game? Oh, whatever. Aiba analyzes the body and states that this half of Jin's body had only died 9 hours ago. We investigate a little bit more, and Mizuki really wants in on the case, in which we beg Boss to let us lead the case. Why is this case so important to her?
You know I'm weak to the puppy dog eyes. Fine.
Oh, there we go. We in, baby. We in.
And one more thing. I am your superior. You should address me with a little more respect.
What do you want me to say, Boss?
Mommy?
What?
10-4, boss man.
After that, we are introduced to a Tamagotchi minigame, which I don't think is really important, and take an absurd amount of time to figure out how to progress this investigation.
That's definitely Jin Furue.
Oh. Aiba and Mizuki have an internal monologue with each other to recap information and debunk a couple of theories. The first theory was that this was Jin's twin. However, we find out that Jin does not have a brother at all. The next theory is that the body was re-sewn together.
You do realize the cerebrum, brainstem, and spinal cord were completely severed in two?
And the last theory being that this may not be Jin at all or anyone related. However, the two halves have a perfect DNA match, so we can rule that out.
I have no idea what's going on. But this case is definitely connected to the incident 6 years ago.
Very good observation, Mizuki. Very good observation. No shit.
Which means
That was Mizuki when she was 12. We switch back to Ryuki, and before doing anything else, we check out Tama's room, and whoa! That shit got me turned! Oh my lord, wait a fuck a minute! Before we investigate even more, we start looking through the files and just find some really nice information that may or may not have anything to do with solving the case. She's 49?! Damn! 49 looks so damn good. What the hell happened to this guy? He looks like a Buddha. Wait. Skills playing dead?
It's all right now, because I am here. Half might.
What? What? Likes anything perverted? S&M? Skills spanking. Further into the investigation, Tama is able to pull up the Afraid of Free video, which Ryuki ends up watching, and he kind of just...
What's wrong, Ryuki?
Oh, what the fuck is happening? Whoa! Yo! What is happening? Anyways, after that investigation, we switch back to the present with Mizuki, who wants to find Ryuki for more information. We find him plastered at a Japanese Indian fusion izakaya named Brahmin, where we have a rough time trying to get him to cooperate. Really? The Oni-chan shit?
Hurry, you're gonna be late.
He's awake?
Nurse, pour some soy sauce on me, please.
Oh, he a freak! At some point, Mizuki says fuck it and takes him back to Abyss HQ, where we sync with him. Basically, in my opinion, an unethical method of finding information by diving into the mind of someone and uncovering information in said person's mind within a dreamlike sequence called a Somnium. Also, Kagami pops up, which is pretty sus, not gonna lie.
Person in the world.
I went with something more unconventional.
It's me, Kagami!
Bitch! Someone tries to invade our sync, and during that, we find ourselves as Tama and Ryuki within Kaname Date's room, previous game's main character. During this part, a mysterious voice prompts Ryuki to name the heinous culprit of this heinous crime, which weirdly has the same amount of letters as Kaname Date's name. Again, I haven't beat the game, just something I observed, you know? After Aiba thwarts this invasion, we find ourselves in the second step of Ryuki's Somnium. And damn is this guy fucked up. We progress Ryuki's Somnium through some odd methods.
All right, suck in really hard.
I do have amazing suction.
What the fuck is happening to her head? Whoa!
Aiba! Aiba!
It was a blank.
And finish it without much information. Found a police badge, but we weren't able to identify it, so again, not much information. But some feet popped up though!
Are these feet?
After the sync is finished, Ryuki warns us that investigating this case is dangerous. But he ends up cooperating and tells us what happened. Back to 6 years ago, it's the day after the incident, which we later find is National Foundation Day, February 11th. Write that down, it might be important. I don't know if it is, but write that down. We go back to Mommy's office, going over what Ryuki should do about the case, since he, at the time, is leading it. Also, Date's there, and we honestly don't get anything done. Whoa, whoa!
Reminds me of you, boss.
Big balls?
Which part? I'm a sucker for anything shiny or black.
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
That's not the whole story, though, is it, Dante? You tried to watch a VR video of bikini girls splitting watermelons at the beach.
Man, Dante's such a fucking character, man. Huh?
No, she's working on a top secret mission.
What mission?
If I told you, it wouldn't be top secret.
True. I like how he pouts. Look at his face, bro.
Advice? I only give advice when I'm drinking. Shall we?
It's not even noon yet.
Who cares? I'm on vacation.
All the roasting and lewd jokes aside, we figure out we should talk to the witnesses again. We start with a 12-year-old Mizuki at the Ota Diner. Ota is, again, also another character from the last game. Man, you know what? I'm gonna stop saying anyone is a character from the last game. Forget the last game. I didn't play it, alright? Ota ends up telling us that there was actually a video just as weird as Afraid of Free, which was released 6 years ago. Damn, there's a lot of sixes in this game. The video was called Bats 490, and there was a rumor that says if you decoded this video, you'd obtain the secret to the world. Mizuki writes this off as an alternate reality game, ARG for short, And these prizes for ARGs are honestly just pranks to make kids go along with them. Tama gets a little turnt off a chopstick holder.
Wow. It's stuffed so tight.
Mizuki's friend Kizzy does some dance routine, and some dude who apparently got drunk off of Haki's Bex falls in love with Kizzy.
It was like my soul pierced the heavens and flew into the stars. So, I've decided. Won't you marry me, Kizuna?
No, thank you.
Oh! Yeah.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
Whoa, this guy's got...
No, thank you.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that either. Hard work just seems so pointless.
I dislike people who don't work hard.
All right. I'm hitting up the employment office tomorrow.
We then enter Sekiba High School to meet Iris. Iris and Mame, her friend that came with her to school on a national holiday, which was weird, gives us a bit of a cringe fest before we get down to some information.
Iris, how are you feeling? Still upset about last night?
I'm okay. I recover pretty quick from these things.
Okay, so she just really was shocked.
See? I'm bouncing right back. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy bunny.
My name is Amame Doi. I'm a third year at Sekiba High, and I'm in the same dance club as Iris.
Okay.
I'm a super hyper cutie miracle beauty. You were on the quiz show last night.
Yes,
weren't you?
very good. Yes. I should be asking the questions here.
KG.
Viva ask the question.
What the hell was—
Man.
Oh, Mr. Teacher.
I'll do anything to get an A.
Basically, Iris thinks that Jin Furue was trying to speedrun the game called Life, and in his attempt to try a very hard time skip tech, Jin messed up and only half his body clipped through 6 years while his other half clipped somewhere else. After a little more conversation with Iris and Mame, we find out that decoding Bats 490 reveals a location, and anyone who goes to this location disappears, leaving a message saying they've discovered the secret of the world. Gen, the owner of Brahmin, shows up and talks about his relationship to some of the characters we were introduced to.
You two are close with Gen, huh?
Yeah. We're just a big ol' happy threesome.
Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it.
That was a weird way to phrase it.
Time. We're so close, we've seen each other's buttholes.
Leaving the happy threesome, we go talk to Chinpei and VTuber tier 3 sub, and well...
MoMA hung them up.
Oma.
Wait, who's hung? Who?
What? Who's hung?
Huh? MoMA?
Moma's hung.
Oh my god.
I actually used to attend a vocational school to learn about film. I wanted to be a porn director.
I hacked into it.
What?
There are a ton of videos of salmon laying eggs in there.
And honestly, I thought this visit was a lost cause. Until we started actually getting some information. Apparently, Chinpei was the director of the game show. He wasn't able to find enough contestants for the game show, so he went on himself. He also ends up telling us the game show was supposed to last 6 hours, with each hour having a different group of contestants in the game show. Weirdly enough, our group started at 9 p.m. Now hold up, why am I getting so turned over the number 9? I've been getting turned over the number 6.
Stupid!
Well, if you haven't put it together, which I don't expect you to because I barely talked about this observation, but there's a lot of Buddhist, Hinduist, and Taoist themes and motifs within this game. I mean, come on, the game's title literally says Nirvana Initiative. Now, if you look at the numbers 6 and 9 closely... No, not like that, you idiots. It looks like the yin and yang symbol. Yeah, there's definitely something going on. Have I pieced it together yet? No. Have you? Anyways, going back to Chimpo and Absolute Degen, we find out that the list of contestants of the game show was given to the police already. I made note that the only real group of interest was the contestants slated for 6 p.m. We haven't done this yet, and we won't for the rest of this episode. We leave Moma's office to go meet up with Sky Does Minecraft after he quit his music career and pursued comedy.
Cool recently. Anyway, he writes Death Tub.
Death Tub?
And I'm thinking, Death Tub? Is that what he meant? Is he trying to tell me something?
Wait.
So funny. That's when I realized when you see Death Tub in the mirror...
Butthead! Anyways, we don't really find out much, but he did get a little suspicious when we started bringing up his alleged connection with the Yakuza.
That's complete nonsense. I'm just an ordinary
Okay, then why are you getting all beady, man?
Well-
But who knows? They might just be giving him uncensored porn for a big discount. Look, I would deal with the Yakuza too if most streamlined porn in my country had a shit ton of mosaics, alright? We end up leaving Komeji in plans of heading back to HQ, and in the car ride back, Tama and Ryuki collect their thoughts on the information they just got.
Shut up! Stop shouting!
But you surprised me. I thought that the ghost of an S&M pervert with a police uniform fetish who died in a tanning booth had come to haunt me.
Haven't I showed you this body many times over the past 6 months?
Starting off with Tessa and Date, the most standout thing they talk about is the half of Jin's body seemingly looking like it teleported into the room. Also, Ryuki's family is dead. Like, all of them. Also, his brother died 6 years ago. We end up watching Bats 490, and surprisingly, Ryuki doesn't go haywire after watching this video.
I have no idea what it's supposed to mean.
This detail I definitely think is important. Anyways, Mizuki calls us telling us that Shoma, the butthead bandit of a son of Komeji's, actually had decoded Bats 490, so we pay him a visit. Though, like any other melancholic middle school boy, we have a rough time even getting him to talk. This guy's ignoring me.
The chastity belt on his heart must be locked tightly.
Why do you call it that, dude?
What kind of metaphor is that?
You won't be able to see his uvula unless you open that lock.
What? Tama! Thanks to Tama's wall hacks, we find a robot in the closet, which Shoma shows us and tells us he actually has been building it. Once we finally break the ice, we find out that the location revealed after decoding Bats 490 is Horodori Labs. And that is a little down bad for Mizuki. Okay, let's talk about Mizuki first.
We're not friends or anything. I don't talk to her much.
Do you wish you could talk to her more?
No. Of course not.
Ah, you're a liar.
Even though she's cute?
That Ugo? She's not cute at all.
His temperature is rising. That was clearly a lie.
We then acquire Havel's ring and Ring of Favor and speedrun it to Horodori Labs where we meet this interesting fellow. The goal of Horodori Labs is to study gene therapy and DNA splicing, with Chikara boldly claiming that his research could actually lead to cures to a bunch of diseases that, honestly, my dumbass wouldn't even know you could cure if you knew how to rewrite DNA sequences. Oh yeah, and you could also achieve immortality, but who cares about that? Ryuki starts to talk about the Batman porno and Chikara tells us that he hasn't watched it yet, let alone jacked off to it yet, which I doubt. Tama notices that Chikara's body temperature is unusually high, indicating that he's lying, so we make sure to not make it obvious that we are doing a simplified version of a sync to peer into his mind. Okay, come on, you can't just do that in person, man. Anyways, we find Chikara watching the video and immediately throw him out of the spaceship. Diving into Chikara's Somnium, we find him basically putting together one half of a body with specific skills and genes to another half, basically creating a specified superhuman, thus connecting the whole DNA splicing shtick that Horodori Labs is doing. We find one of the rooms blocked by a locked character which Tama calls a conscious antibody, basically a manifestation of a person not wanting people to find out information within a person's mind. You're probably thinking, well, why not just move him? Well,
you see how it says instant death on his crotch there?
Tama says that making contact with the antibody, or what Ryuki likes to call
instant death power stance man.
I'm sorry, instant death power stance man?
Will severely reduce the time they can have within the Somnium. Well, now we have an objective, to somehow approach instant death power stance man to kick his ass. Upon a not-so-quick sweep, that detail is important, I find that the half statues around the premises are either really strong or smart people. So easily enough, the objective and gimmick of this Somnium is to splice DNA from two halves of bodies that make sense to clear an obstacle within the Somnium. We find a fisherman, ancient warrior, Indiana Jones, and an astronaut. In another room, we find a statue which Tama turns on. Bro.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
To turn the computer that we use to splice DNA together on. Anyways, we splice together the Maasai warrior and the astronaut to jump a great distance and find a driver's statue that Tama has to turn on. Go back and then splice the DNA of Indiana Jones and the driver to be able to Kansai drift to the next platform to turn on the DNA of a gambler. Where we then go back to splice the DNA of the gambler and the fisherman together to fish back the area that had the path that instant death power stance man was blocking, that Chikara had whisked away into the void. And then I wasted some time trying to get to the two other rooms that had nothing to do with the Somnium. And then I failed the Somnium.
Damn it! Chikara's mind is in...
Remember when I wasted too much time? Yeah, I had to restart the whole thing. And I forgot to press the recording button again. Anyways, after doing the whole Somnium all over again, I figure out that we had to put together the Masai Warrior and Chikara to make the ultimate Undying Warrior. We then kick Instant Death Power Stance Man's ass and get into the room for the rewards. Okay. Where we find half a statue labeled 9. With the options of NA and 9 left, we splice the DNA to find some Squid Game looking ass worker with the name
Nice at Laws.
NA and 9.
Nice.
Ryuki, this is...
I know. That's 490.
That, my friend, is going to be the end of this episode. Now, I actually had more footage from the second day of stream, but I felt like this episode was already going long enough. However, if you're here, that means you've watched the whole thing, or you skipped through the whole thing and just got here. But if you did watch the whole thing, then thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this format of video, then please let me know by leaving a like on the video. Again, I'm still trying to improve my editing skills and broadening the amount of tools that I have under my belt for video editing. So as more videos come out, expect there to be changes and improvements. But if you did get to the end of this video, then let me know by leaving a comment down below saying that Mona's thighs are the best. Anyways, that's it for me. Sub to the channel if you want to follow my playthrough of AI Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative, or if you want to see some other highlights that happen on stream. Speaking of stream, you can also watch me live on twitch.tv/JustReyes, and at this point, you can still watch me play Somnium Files. Anyways, that's it for me. I'll see you guys in the next video, or even on stream. Have a good night, everyone.